Hello and welcome to our virtual time clock training series. In this video, we're going to be covering how to modify existing time card punches. So first we'll cover how to edit these entries as an administrator, and then take a look at some options you can enable that allow employees to edit their own punches. So let's get started. If you haven't already, go ahead and log into administration mode. Go to File, turn Admin on. Now there's several ways to quickly edit time cards, so you can kind of decide what method works best for you. We're going to start by looking at some options that are right here in the in and out board using the right click of your mouse. If you're a Mac user and you don't have right click enabled, you can also control click to get that action menu. So if I right click on an employee, the first option I have is to edit the current entry. And just like it says, this is going to pull up a really quick way for you to edit the most recent punch on the clock. So Laura started at 6. For example, if she actually started work at 6:30 but forgot to punch in until 6:45, I could come in here as the administrator and change the start time. So that's one way to edit existing entries. Now if I right click again, I'm going to choose the next option, add or modify entries. And that's going to bring up a window that shows kind of the last full day of punches, so I can quickly access more recent punches. And so I can double click on an entry and get in, and I can change the start time for Amy to 7 o'clock, and that's all set. And then the other thing I can do here from the in and out board is I'm going to right click and choose Timecard. And obviously this brings up the time card for the employee with all their punches. I can choose the entry editor button at the toolbar here. And now I can see every single punch on the time card, and I have ability to double click any of those and make any changes that I need to. And we'll get into that in just a second. So let's close that entry editor and close the detail report. So the other common way to be editing entries, aside from these options here at the in and out list, is to click the entry editor button here. And just like it sounds, entry editor allows you to pull up any punches and make quick changes to them. So as you'll see right away here, this window is empty. So in order to get some punches to take a look at, I'm going to choose select entries, choose an employee or more. I'm going to go ahead and choose the current period. But you can open a punch for any period and to look at. I'm going to choose OK. So now it's going to give me a list of all of Tom's punches for the payroll period. So I can jump into any of these punches. You can double click any single punch that you need to. You can change the start time, the stop time if you need to change the activity for some reason. Anything you might need to do, you can leave a note while you're making the change, and then you can save anything you do. So you can do that to any punch here. You can also delete punches. If there was an issue and you need to maybe re-add a punch, you can just click the delete button here or use the delete button on your keyboard. And then one other thing I'll show you here real quick is the options to insert breaks and lunches. So I can click on a punch. Let's just say, for example, that Tom forgot to punch out for break, but he took a break in here and we want to note it. So I can actually select the entry during which the break took place, click insert break, and then I can specify a 15-minute break for Tom, and I can insert that into the punch. So that's a really quick way to easily add a break or a lunch in the entry editor window. So I'm going to close out of that window. So those are the primary ways to edit time card punches, using the entry editor or one of the quick actions here at the in and out board. But let's just say you've got employees and you need them to be able to edit their own punches. To do that, I'm going to go to the configure menu and then display groups, and I got to click on the user tab here to get into those settings. And we're going to look under the user entry modifications. And the third option here is edit entries. And then you can also turn on the insert break or insert lunch buttons if you need employees to be able to add their own lunch. Maybe employees are away for the day, and at the end of the day you want them to come back and be able to insert their lunch. This is a way that you could do that. So I'm going to turn these three on, click apply here, close the window, and let's take a look at what this looks like in user mode by turning administration off. So now if I come to the time clock as an employee, I can right click on my name and I can choose edit current entry, just like an admin can, and I'll have to put in my password. There we go. And I can edit my current entry. And then as well, I can choose add or modify entries. And just like the admin, I can get in here. Now I can't see anybody else's punches, just myself, but I can come in here and edit one of these punches, or like we turned on, I could insert a break or lunch if I needed to. So those are the common ways to edit punches in Virtual TimeClock. If you have any additional questions about the software, please visit our website to give us a call or send an email to service@redcourt.com.